We have a viewer question here for you, Nick, from Tyler, who's listening right now. He wants to ask you, tell us more about how crazy Nintendo was when they first released the N64, being able to get those demos ahead of time, and what was that process like for you guys? I guess getting games kind of as they were being released.
Yeah, so that was interesting, and it was they took it really seriously. So I guess they didn't want the competition, whoever, getting the edge on their games, and they didn't want these games getting out into the public. Piracy and borrowing was not as rampant then as it is now. So they would literally. So I just remember that there would be a bunch of people that would come from Nintendo, and one of them would be like I think there was like an executive lady that would come, and she was sort of our liaison with Nintendo. And then there would be like a tech guy that would come just in case something needed to be tweaked with the game. But they would bring it wasn't a cartridge, it was like an EEPROM or something that they would sort of rig the actual unit up to be able to insert the card without being in a regular, case. And so the secrecy, and I remember one time, dude, they came in with security guards, and I wish I could remember what game it was, but they came in with security guards, either one or two, that were like guarding. It was like a state secret or something like that. It was like they had a briefcase with $1 million in it that they were guarding. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is the new. And if I think it might have been like one of the James Bond games, like a GoldenEye or something like that. It could have been that, but I wish I could remember what game it was. So yeah, it was a big production when the new games and the new system came out. Good grief. Like we had advance on whatever. So if we were playing SNES or something like that, or N64, whatever the next generation was, we would get our hands on that weeks before it was in stores to be able to show it in a timely fashion on the show, because we taped, I think, 6 weeks ahead of time.
It's almost like the Brinks truck coming to pick the money up from the bank. You got the security guys that come out.
Dude, it was, I'm not kidding. Like, and we'd be like, what? It's a video game. Get over yourself. But, now realizing, oh my God, had that gotten into the wrong hands? And we didn't have a secure studio. I think maybe we had, like a security guy. We had one, I remember, that was obsessed with Elvis. And so we had a guy like in a security uniform, but he wouldn't have stopped anybody. I can't think. But good question, Tyler. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this Elvis security guard. What was that all about?
Well, we worked at a bunch of studios, so we were the very first season, and so to realize this show was on for 15 years, 15 seasons, which is a really long time for any show. So we did, 700 and something episodes. We did it every week. We worked at a studio in Hamilton, and it was the CH studio. So if you know Hamilton at all, it's on sort of Main Street, kind of right by where you connect with the highway. And there was this beautiful old studio that was legendary. They used to do like the, I think House of Frankenstein or something was filmed there. And then they would have the news booth. And we would sort of take over their production area. And there was a security guy out front. And I wish I could remember what his name was. But he would sort of look after things. But he was the most insecure security guard ever. Like anybody could have done anything. Nothing would ever be stopped by this guy. And he would always sing Elvis. And he looked nothing like Elvis, which was the best part. So I just remember the Elvis-loving security guard. That was one of the great characters I got to work with over the years.